Ha, caught you watching my channel again. How about you like and subscribe and we'll forget I saw that. I ask Reddit, what did that weird kid do to earn that reputation? By Sly Fox Couple. The weird kid at my school always claimed she was a wizard, and when someone spoke to her when she was casting a spell, screaming at the ground, she would turn around and either scream in their face or bitch slap them. I was new to the school at the time, and I got screamed at cause I was legitimately worried that she might be hurt or something. Set his arm on fire on a school trip to France. Sprayed his arm with deodorant for about a whole minute before getting someone to light it. It wouldn't go out until he used the tap in the bathroom to douse it with water. He ended up with blisters and permanent scarring. So the school trip ends and we go back to school the week after. All of a sudden, me and 4 other kids get pulled into a classroom to be questioned by police and the head teacher. He basically told his mum that we did it to him. Obviously this did not stick, as we all had the same story. If I had Facebook I would look him up, see how life is for him nowadays. Edit, forgot to say deodorant is what he used. He had a notoriety for shitting his pants at least once a day and was super casual about it. I remember I was behind him in the hall one day when I saw a massive turd plop out of his short legs. He looked back at it and just kept on strutting. Maybe he's not giving a fuck because he's too busy giving a shit. Got caught whacking it in the school bathroom. Then later got his dick stuck in a shampoo bottle. Guys, if you get your dick stuck in a shampoo bottle and your mom has to take you to the hospital to remedy the situation, you need to keep that to yourselves. There is no teenager in the world who's going to keep that knowledge to themselves. There was a girl in my school that got caught trying to color her entire tongue with a black Sharpie in like 7th grade. It was honestly surreal to witness. The teacher was so confused and just walked her to the principal. A few years later she was expelled for drinking during school on multiple occasions. He would jerk off everywhere and be caught like all the time. In class, on the football field, in the tuba room, you name it. He also claimed with all seriousness to everybody that he was dating the most popular girl at our school. She was in a long-term relationship with another one of the popular kids, so everyone knew he was full of shit, but he stuck to his guns. TBH, looking back on it, I really feel bad for the guy. Was incredibly smart but had zero social skills and an unfortunate lump of fat right on his forehead that people would bully him for. It was also like he tried to get in trouble every chance he could. Anyways, some things that came to mind. He would pick at and pop pimples in class. Like pimples on his arms and shoulders. Had just go to town on them and be all red and marked up by the end. When I was in school we had a serious no electronics policy. A few times he would bring in his Nintendo DS and play that thing full volume, and of course off to detention. Because he was so smart, he would often correct teachers and other students, but in the rudest way possible. And he was always technically correct, if it makes any sense. Also often resulting in detention. Can't think of any more specifically fun stories. He rarely showed up to school. Maybe because he felt he didn't need to, or maybe because everyone, including the teachers, weren't always the nicest to the kid. Collected earthworms when it rained in the pouch of his hoodie, and then laid him out in the schoolyard, spelling his own name. He cried when he saw that it had been scraped from the pavement the next day. By that time he was around 13. Predictably, people started calling him Worm Kid. He got expelled around a year later for throwing a fistful of earth at a teacher. Edit, to elaborate on him having to leave the school. This act of dirt tossing happened inside of a classroom at close proximity when he'd been called to the blackboard during a Latin lesson. I'm from Europe. The teacher completely lost her shit. The moist soil was all in her hair, and she later said a couple of live beetles and little pebbles or bone splinters were also found in that mix, though I can't say whether that's true. When we were about 15, Harrison, we were all addressed by our surnames, decided one day to wrap his penis in adhesive tape during a biology lesson. I can't remember why, nor how he managed to remove it, but I was impressed. He also held the record for stabbing into the desk between each finger of his outstretched hand with a compass, a very sharp point, as fast as possible, despite hitting a finger at least once. He later became a distinguished surgeon. He was very into the fantasy of war games. He would get super excited when anyone would play along with him. We had over 5,000 students in the school, and many people knew about him and would pretend to shoot at him for a laugh due to his antics. It all had to stop when someone pretended to shoot him with a bazooka and he jumped backwards down a flight of stairs from the explosion. Someone who is still unknown ran through the school with nothing on but the Spider-Man mask. He ran down the longest hallway we had, a quarter-mile long, willy flopping in the wind, and no teacher or monitor could stop his majestic run. There is this kid who only listens to Megalovania. Worst part is that he blasts it full volume and doesn't bother wearing headphones. So imagine you're in my shoes, taking a piss in the bathroom, and 50% of the time you slowly hear Megalovania getting louder and louder until it echoes into the room, and there is that kid just standing there with his phone out staring at everyone while you fear for your safety. I'm not really sure what this guy did, but he was a fun guy to be around, presumably just ugly and visibly mentally ill. Once he said he was going to bring a surprise to a pep rally and got talked to by police, but it turned out to just be a bucket full of candy. He got nominated Homecoming King, and despite the principal trying to stop him from being elected, he won. He had a ton of school spirit, too. It was really weird. Edit. A lot of people have concerns about it being a Carrie-type situation, but I don't think it was, as the kid said that the principal did not like him at all, and seemed to wait for him to make mistakes, just so that he could dish out a punishment. I overheard the guy talking about it with his friends, and I remember that he was called to the principal's office to talk about it, but he didn't say anything about the principal being scared of him being teased or anything. My memory is a little hazy, but I'm pretty sure it was just because he wouldn't fit the school's image. That's what the kid felt, at least. We were freshmen in an urban high school. He made increasingly wild claims, like he had a bunch of illegal automatic weapons, he made poison darts and blowguns, his sensei could outrun an arrow fired from a bow and he was learning how to do it, he had a nitro kit in his Trans Am that he used to outrun police. He transferred to another school. The next I heard of him 2 years later, he had crashed into a brick wall and died while fleeing the police. The report said he lost control when he engaged his nitro kit. Well crap, that last one might have been the kid telling the truth, or way over his head with nitro kit and no idea how to safely use it. Hey, that's the video, but if you want more content, there should be 2 videos on screen now you can check out, and if you want you can like and subscribe.